Hello everyone, my name is John and today on my channel I will be doing a review of a BeamNG.Drive car that screams Italian. Okay, in a update 0.16 of BeamNG.Drive, the Italian map is added and they need a essentially Italian car to make this update more great. They make a car based on the Fiat 500, which is the most Italian car ever, but with engine based on the Volkswagen Beetle. Well, because the Fiat 500 use a two-cylinder inline engines, which Autobello actually uses the four-cylinder Boxer, more remnant to the Beetle. And if you're not agreed with my statement, remember, the standard engines of the Autobello is 1.1, 1.3 and 1.5, and if you saw on Wikipedia about the Beetle, you can see the Beetle was produced principally in other countries with the same size engines that the Autobello, so yeah, that's how I based my statement. With that explained, let's look the information in the game. This car currently has 18 versions, 9 which are factory versions and 9 specialized versions. Let's say something like this. Yeah, that's how I categorize the things here. So let's start from the beginning. This is the normal Autobello Piccolina 110 produced from 57 to 63. Well, that's the most basic version of the Autobello. It came with a 1.1 engine when I show the information on screen right now. Well, you should expect it to perform very poorly, but in fact not in a post-war European context. With small streets and no need to reach high speeds, it performs super well. It's fun to drive through narrow streets of Italy or even France or I don't know, maybe Germany. And this car fits perfectly for his context. Small, agile and cheap, costing only this value I'm showing on the screen on in-game money. I don't know how much is in real life, but in-game money they say that's the value of the car. It also, this car features a extremely simple interior with this kind of door. You know what kind of door is. It was updated until the end of production of Autobello in 73 with the 110A and the version from 64 to 68 and the 110B from the 69 to 73. The difference between the 110 and the 110A is new hood, more conventional type of door and new wheels. In terms of performance, nothing changes, the price has decreased. However, the difference from the 110B is a little bigger. In the addition of the hood with more lights and new wheels, the 110B has new front sway bar that guarantees better stability. In my opinion, it changes just a little, not too much, and the price has increased. The Autobello 110 also had a special version based on the normal 110 called Tricolore. Basically, it's a 110 with colors with the Italian flag, basic, and it cost like too much for a 110. Well, it wasn't just the 110 that sold as the only version of Autobello. This is the Autobello 130. Well, the difference between the 110 and the 130 isn't very clear. So let's get some details. The normal Autobello Piccolina 130 is basically the 110 with the difference of the disc brakes in the front, new wheels and trims, and the 1.3 engine. The data from the engine I'm gonna show you on the screen right now. Well, this normal version of the 130 like the 110 is produced to 57 until 63, and he got his facelifts too. This facelift is the 130A from 64 to 68 had a sporty front sway bar, a larger wheels, making go a little more faster and a little more agile on the curves, but not too much difference on the motor or even the car. But the 130B Begin is the last model you can buy normally, the finished, the all we have model from this car, if you can buy it on the store. In addition, they have everything has already in the others, and it came with special alloy wheels, wider fenders, but in addition of the engine is slightly modified, having 2 carburetors. So that's the new stats of the engine. I would consider this the best version of Piccolinas because it's very considerable performance, it's still quite agile and fast. Probably this is gonna be my shoes if I live on a BeamNG.Drive's world. The Autobello Piccolina 130 also have a special version dedicated to Italian police. Basically is a normal 130 from 67 with a police equipment. Leaving the simplest versions of the car, now let's go with the most special versions. Let's start with the Autobello Piccolina 150 Course. This version made by Autobello served to race teams and sold exclusively to them. This version is equipped with a 1.5 engine, which shows the information on the screen right now. This version, in addition to a new body kit, a race suspension, and don't have rear seats or spare tires, and instead of the gas tank, he had a fuel cell. This 1.5 V engine is bicarbureted with a racing exhaust, with a front oil cooler and a 5-speed gearbox. This version was produced 67 to 73, which is actually kinda strange because this is almost the finish of the car, the sickle of the line. Well, knowing this, let's move to the next 2 models. Remember that I begin in the video, I categorize the versions between 9 factory versions and 9 special versions. In fact, I made a slightly mistake. I discovered that the 2 versions I'm gonna talk right now is made by the factory itself. So let's consider these exactly not exactly special version, but yes, factory versions like the 150 course. So we are now with 11 factory versions and 7 special versions. And after I explain this, let's see both now. This is the rally version. It's basically a 150 course equipped with a roll cage, suspension, and etc. from rally. There's no difference about the engine. In terms of aesthetic, it have a raised deck lid and a racy paint, but yeah, it's basically this is what changes in that version. Similar to the rally version, we have the racy version, also based on the 150 course, but without the seat for the co-driver. It's equipped with a roll cage, a spoiler, slick tires, and also the engine, who is the rally version is not modified, is modified to have more horsepower. Well, they have basically stage 2 engine performance and dual racing carburetors, things which don't have on the rally version. A version that's very similar to the official versions is the Baja version, who is not exactly official, but seems like, because this version is basically a rally version with more off-road upgrades, off-road wheels, off-road suspension, etc. And it also has made it at the same time, but I didn't see on the game if it's a factory version. The next one is the Gambler 500 version, a special version added in the first update that has a cooperation with a real-life rally category with the game. It is a Autobello Piccolina with a elongated chassis, the same engine as the Baja version without any stage modification. It's just a 1.5 with oil cooler in the rear and dual carburetors. The only thing that's different about this car is the Italian tub in the front and his horrible driving. The next special version is the Street Machine, one of the craziest versions of this car, and came with a 2.0 engine as the Hiroshi SB Air 4 Turbo. I'm gonna show you the status on the screen right now. This version had a lot more lore added to it. After all, it's basically a 150 course with giant tires and engine from another brand. Interesting thing is Hiroshi is based a lot on Subaru cars, and it's not difficult to see on real life Volkswagen Beetles with Subaru engines. Also, it's interesting fact that before the off-road update, this car actually had the 1.5 turbo engine, and after the update they changed this for this monstrosity of engine. Okay. Now, let's go to the more craziest version. The drag race version is crazy in terms of horsepower, but in question about drivability clearly is not, because it's a drag car. It came with a 2.5 Hiroshi B-Turbo, which I'm gonna put the states right now. There is not too much to say about this version. The chassis is also changed to the Gambler 500 chassis, and they have drag racing tires, and this car basically is not almost the Autobello Piccolina anymore. Another version who is very different is the Baja Spec 5 class version that has a 1.5 air-cooled engine, but the entire chassis of the car has changed to a extremely off-road version. But this chassis still maintains the body of the Autobello, so you can see some way the Autobello right there. The latest versions I'm gonna show you in this video basically follow the version Baja Expect 5 with the Baja Unlimited 5 class. This version have most nothing more of the original Autobello, since all the body has replaced it to a more off-road body. And they changed the engine to 1.5 air cooler to a 2.0 water cooler from the Hiroshi. The last version is the Baja Extreme, an even more uncontrollable version of the Limited 5 class with high performance 2.5 engine came from the Hiroshi, also turbo. This turning itself, this car, extremely uncontrollable, extremely hard to drive, and even unplayable in a certain way. Well, guys, we haven't seen and gone through all the versions of the Autobello Piccolina. I can say that it is not only one of the most complete cars in the game, but also one of the most fun to drive and modify. Even though this is one of the oldest cars present in the game, and still managed to be very fast and very drivable. Thank you everyone who liked this video so far. It's very difficult to make this video. After all, it took me 2 weeks to get it ready. Leave your like, subscribe, don't forget to follow my sim racing lives on my channel. Big hug and have a good day, buddies.